Hey guys, we were playing Exile, and this is a deck called Dumpster Gamble. Kind of all about just pawning everything. This opening hand is fairly average. I'm going to mull for pawn chop because of how bad this deck loses if it doesn't find a pawn chop. Alright. At least we have Astrolabe, which will allow us to maybe get some cards off him installing money assets. We don't play Imp, which I think is an oversight in the deck. We don't play much. We play one copy of Parisha, which could do some work, but it's not looking great here. Not looking great. Okay, well, I guess we just check it and see what's there. What do we see? Eve campaign. Yeah, that's fine. Let's check this one. Could be Architect. I just wanted to pay us money early on, so we can't even res the Eve. Just thinking about it. Maybe he's just a little bit slow. That's me in. We see Ash. Can't really afford to trash that either. As I mentioned, this deck really just craps out if you don't get your pawn chop. Because there's like no other economy in the deck whatsoever. Besides this Scheherazade, which just effectively discounts stuff that you play. And the Sahasrara also discounts stuff you play, but you don't get any real credits into your bank account unless you explicitly use pawn shop. Or cash, which is pretty marginal. So, he's probably not playing Power Shutdown, which means you can put everything on Scheherazade, like every single thing. Which... Alright, so we need to kill this Eve campaign. Right, like we just need to kill this, because we cannot let him have this. I did not draw from my Astrolabe. Yeah, that was relevant. I really wish this was automated. I always forget that it's not automated and forget to draw it. There's an Ichi. Okay. Trace. Or not. Right, it's trace 1 and I have 1 link. Nothing happens. Plunk. And yeah, I will get rid of this. Certainly cannot have any money. Well, let's get a free look over here. Just in case. Hourglass. Here's nice I haven't seen in a long time. I mean, it stacks okay with Bioroids if it's on the outside. Then you run in 4th action. If you have breakers, it doesn't really do anything. So there's that too. Whatever that is, we probably don't care about it. Although we could be sneaking out a 3-2 here. Test run. See, these are expensive to play in the first place. And you want to go from your heap. At the start of the game, there's just nothing in your heap. Strongbox. Okay. See where you're going with that. whew, we're in some economic trouble. I would definitely cut this net shield. It's much worse than a sheer gamble. Or probably even worse than a quality time. Like, this deck already has a levy, so PE shouldn't be a huge deal. And it's just so dead. So it probably was not a 3-2. Oh, there is a pawn shop. Praise the Lord. Okay. Can play this out. Now we can play our net shield with Sahazra money and we can pawn it. So this has now been converted into a sheer gamble. Alright, because you get a buck from Scheherazade and then 3 from pawning it. And it was free because of Sahazra. That's the goal of the deck. But it's still a little worse than just playing sheer gambles in your deck. At least playing 3 sheer gambles. So if you forgot to res it, I guess we'll let that go. Clicks for money. Alright, well, can't really answer that this turn. Because we're going to be $1 short to just slam into it and click through everything. Play Mimic, which is not really good here. Let's just draw through. Here's a Mimic. Do we even want this Mimic on the table? I'm going to play this. And if it costs $3, oops, click left. Yeah, we do. Draw again. Then it's just an easy mark, which is less exciting. Could test run Scavenge. It's not the worst. So we know there's Hourglass. We don't know what's in his hand other than he probably dumped all his agendas. Well, he only dumped 1 card, so maybe he did not dump his agendas. Okay, so we can take a tag in the brain, right? Don't think we really care about that. We could test run Sharpshooter, which ends up costing us $2 plus 1 to break is 3. Yeah, that's not the worst. It's not the worst. Let's search our stack. Sharpshooter. We get a buck back from the Scheherazade. Yeah. We just have to kill this, right? So. That's what it does. It breaks them all. Alright, trash. So I can probably pawn this as well. I don't think it's going to do a ton of work for us unless you have to be playing like next silver, but it seems like he's in the Bioroid train. So we'll pawn that next turn, draw, try to find some more anything. You can probably start scoring. Because we're not playing Data Sucker, which seems like another emission or Parasite. So we actually have very limited ways to deal with that Ichi. Which is really not great. Well, it's decent. Another pawn shop, we don't need that. Let's poke in his hand on the off chance something in there that we can trash or even steal. What's this thing? Crisium Grid and Project Wotan. Wowzers. Did not expect to get the Project Wotan there. Still one card in the archives. Why is he not overdrawing and getting rid of those agendas that that are so vulnerable right now? So let's think about our follow-up plan. We can still get a Femme Fatale if we want to with the Test Run Scavenge combo. That gives us a $3 bypass on this Ichi, which is actually our best solution other than just recurring Sharpshooter, which will eat our recursion pretty fast. Draw with Jackson. It's an ice on the HQ. Okay. Advances. What's in there? Well, we want that, right? We even want to go in there. Test run. Run. Then we can click a Bioroid. We can just eat the hourglass if it's that. Yeah. Let's test run, stack, Femme Fatale, activate, host it on Scheherazade. Like, this gives you a lot of money in this deck. It's really quite fun. Let's make a run. I think it's probably hourglass. It's Enigma. Ooh. Well then, I really thought it'd be the hourglass. We could have found this and then run and clicked through. In any event, I think we do want the Femme Fatale marker to stay on that Ichi. Seems good. So look at the scavenge, install Femme again. And rehost it on Scheherazade and draw from Exile. So you might get to score a 4-2 here, but we do have our Femme out. That Ichi is now going to not do as much. We have a decent economy. Might even just be NAPD. You could be beta test Vitruvius. He does not over advance it. Put something else in there. Puts another upgrade. It must be the strong box, huh? No, maybe not. In any event. Wow. Get all our pawn shops. Some C is reasonable. We got to deal with this Jackson in case this is beta test. I don't want to just beta test safely. Yeah, that's fine. Play out the SMC. So before his end of turn, we need to search for a breaker, and I think what I want is probably a zoo. We have Cyber Cipher, which would save us $1 per go at that Enigma. But then the Hourglass is somewhere, and we probably... Okay, he trashes the Ichi. I don't know if that's wise, because it's still doing something, right? Now I can just scavenge this Femme. I kind of want Refractor in the deck. Because we do play Cloak. Alright. So this has to be Strongbox, basically. There's a lady. Let's keep that in hand. So he doesn't know what we're up to. Let's poke the iron. There, let's poke the HQ. We don't know what is in his hand at all. Just lets us in. Taking a beta test. Why is he not resing this? Does it just cost too much? Or are we getting really lucky and taking the only one of his hand? Or he doesn't want to pay. Red herrings, get rid of that. I tend to just run again and not use my Sahasrara credits and not install. No, yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go again. Maybe it's the Hourglass, which is a total bluff. Red herrings again. Yeah, get rid of that. Go away, extra pawn shop. Now he might think we cannot break barriers, and we'll have the surprise lady coming out. Ice is the HQ. With one card left in there. Trying to follow his thought process. Is he put the agenda and he's just icing this for later? Or his last card is trashable, he doesn't want me to trash it. I don't know. I'm gonna run and have a credit left for Strongbox, or a click left for Strongbox. We're a little vulnerable here to like an Ichi 2.0. Heimdall 1.0. Puts him to $1. Costs us 3 and 4, 5. That's probably still worth it. I don't want to take a brain just yet. I will take a brain later if I have to. What do we see? Could just be a Dondish or something like that, but I want to kill the Strongbox at minimum. Pulse lead, okay. Heinlein grid. Oh, interesting. Good to know that's in there. Good to know. Click for money. Now let's draw. Because we draw into money. Yep. So we've now used all our memory. It's time to think about what program is least useful. So we're going to think about how much more we're going to install things. Maybe selling this now is fine. So we do need to get some money. Selling the zoo is probably bad. Selling the cloak is... we don't have the MU to really use the cloak effectively. We could draw for MU, but we probably just don't get it. So I think I'm going to sell the cloak. Let's draw. Draw. Get a good chunk of change here. And I think draw again. Okay, yeah, the scavenge is great. Scavenge gives us a card draw, and it also gives us access to some program we might need. Like the David would pass the Heimdall once. So would Deus Ex if we draw that. So he knows we can get in there. This is either just a complete bluff, which is I wouldn't put past him, or he's just desperate. Could play Parisha and run and trash stuff for 2 less. We can't trash the Heinlein Grid because unfortunately this card is kind of sad and can't trash those, but we can go to R&D. He only has $5. We could even have installed the medium for net 0, but then our memory is pretty much full and we have the option after that to basically pawn the medium again, at which point it has done nothing. So do we want to lose 3 actions? Not really, right? But paying 6 to break also sucks. I'm gonna lose 3 actions. So Cyber Cipher would be decent against that. So would running a last action at this point. Ash on top. You actually can't afford to do anything with that. Let him draw that to something else. Alright, so I'm thinking we run a last action with a medium and just start picking up accesses. Yeah, it seems good to me. Click for credit for 3rd, probably. So this is why this ice is not very good, because if you can run in 4th action, you can just completely ignore it, and it costs them 5. He's trying to do the combo with Heinlein Grid, of course, but it's not exactly reliable. This would be a great ice if it said like the runner loses click or ends the run. Then you have like a genuinely very strong ice. Take the beta test. So we won there, but we were also in great shape to just continue going here. He can't stop us with his lack of economy. So the key there was how we trashed those Eve campaigns. Like it was expensive and it cost us a lot in both credits and actions, but can you imagine if he had $12 more? Right now he'd be in such great shape. Instead he had nothing. So yeah, the deck performed. This actually would have been great earlier. I like the diesel. The test runs are a little awkward. We put it to good use, getting the Femme Fatale. Yeah, I think Net Shield should come out. David could come out too. Like it has a purpose, but it kind of overlaps with what Sharpshooter and Deus Ex do. Other than that, I think it's a decent deck. Pretty decent. I actually wouldn't mind another one of these. These do things early on, especially against these asset spam decks like, you know, DRT, Hub, or even just to get rid of Jacksons and Ashes. It's a reasonable money card in its own, then you can pawn it when it's out of gas. Thanks for watching, guys.